Hello, everyone, and welcome back into the Mad Science Lab podcast, brought to you by the combination of the Fantasy Football Universe and the Fantasy Football Advice Network. I am Aaron St. Denis. You can find me on Twitter at FFMadScientist, joined today by Ryan Miner. You can find him at RyanMiner_FFB. How's it going, Ryan?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I battling an illness this weekend here and overslept a bit, so we're getting going kind of on the fly here. Before we get into the newest edition here of Dynasty Risers and Fallers, you want to take a second to tell everyone where they can find you and your work?
Yeah, so you can find me, like you already said, on Twitter at Ryan or X, Ryan_FFB. You can find all my work and content over at the Faceoff Sports Network at fffaceoff.com. And right now, I am running multiple rookie mock drafts, man. I'm from 1 QB, 2 QB, super flex, 4 rounds, 12 teams, no bots, man. I get all real people, and I try to come up with the most accurate rookie ADP out there.
All right. Yeah, we've been doing that too. It's definitely mock draft season, especially with the I almost said the expo, especially with the combine going. I've been doing a lot of rookies this week, but let's get into some veteran players. For your riser, we have Detroit wide receiver Jameson Williams, who I just accidentally swiped off my screen. So bear with me for about 8 seconds as I bring him back up, because sure enough, I went to click on his stats and swiped off. Come on. There we go.
Hey, it's all good with the stats because
I got him. He's going into his third year. He's been wide receiver 155 and wide receiver 82. Last year, 24 receptions on 42 targets for 354 yards and 2 touchdowns. Keep Trade Cut has him as wide receiver 46. Fantasy Pros, wide receiver 44, so not a big difference there. Keep Trade Cut 108 overall. Fantasy Pros 99 overall. That is in 1 QB league. Where do you have him, and where do you see him going?
I still have him in that range just because what we don't know. But what we have seen so far is I'm going based off what I've seen over the last half of the season. Yes, last season he didn't do much because he's coming off the ACL injury. Then he gets suspended for 6 games for gambling. And then, everyone's like, he's a first-round bust. He's a first-round bust. He's a first-round bust. But then you look at him in like week 14, and that's when he starts coming onto his game, where he actually saw 7 targets, but, only turned it into 4 receptions for 47 yards. Mind you, it's 7 targets. But then the following week, he got 6 targets. So the targets are going up and up. The receptions aren't there, and he still hasn't had that 100-yard game. I know I'm not really justifying it well enough to buy him, but what really did get me onto him was what he did against San Francisco. And that game showed what he was able to do once the ball is in his hands, because he was able to turn in 3 targets, 2 receptions, 25 yards, a touchdown, but also rush the ball 1 time for 42 yards and get another touchdown. And I was telling people prior to that game, like, this would be the perfect time to go buy him because he's on the up and up. And then what's he do again? He hurts himself, which once again, that's what he did in week 16, hurt himself when he had 69 receiving yards against Dallas and a touchdown. And then we didn't play it all week 17. But what I like about him a lot more this year is, like I said, going into the end of the season. But if you look at his metrics for what he did last season, so he had 639 air yards. His rookie season, he only had 149.
Yeah.
The 500-yard difference there right now is something to kind of look into. Mind you, also, that my mouse just froze.
I hear you. I'm having technical difficulties. No, I agree with you fully. This is one where I'm completely on board. And I was the guy halfway through last season saying, oh, yeah, I'm out. He's a first-round bust. But his usage at the end of the season in the playoffs, like you said, was awesome. So, sorry if you got your mouse working. I'll let you get back into it.
Yeah, and then they hit, and he was more of a deep threat too. He actually ranked number 5 in average target distance at 15.6 from Player Profiler. And you look at contested catch rate, 8 targets, 75% of catch rate. That was number 2 in the league for contested catch rate. So it's coming. Like this, we've been I feel like I like to say spoiled brats with these wide receivers lately because They come out, they break out, and they're instant hits. The term like third year wide receivers seem to fade away. I'm bringing it. I'm trying to bring it back. This is gonna be Jameson Williams' third year, and I see him on the up and up. You know, teams are gonna start trying to lock down Sam Laporta. You can't lock down Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have, and Jahmyr Gibbs is also exploding. Jameson Williams is due.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I said, 100%. I think he's a great buy, especially because, like I said, he's still wide receiver 44, 46 range. So he's almost free. I don't think it's guaranteed that he's going to be a hit next season, but I like his prospects, and he's definitely someone I'm buying low on. You know, in comparison to some of the other guys from his draft class who are like quadruple the price now. I think his upside is there. I thought he was a bust too halfway through last season. I had given up, but I am back in. We will switch over quickly now to your faller. That would be Chicago quarterback Justin Fields going into his fourth year. He was quarterback 31, 7, and 18 last year. He had 227 completions on 370 pass attempts, 2,562 passing yards, which is a career high, 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, rushed for 657 yards and 4 touchdowns. Keep Trade Cut has him as QB 15, Fantasy Pros QB 14. He is 101 overall on Fantasy Pros, 80 overall on Keep Trade Cut. So same positional rank, 20 spots lower on Fantasy Pros because the experts punt quarterback in one QB. So nothing to see there, really. It's no surprise. He is right now being valued as a high-end QB2, which is funny because this time last year he was a mid-range QB1. So where do you have Fields and where do you see him going?
Oh, like it's hard to rank Fields because we don't know where he's going. That's just it. Like the NFL Combine's running, and Caleb Williams has been projected as number 1 overall pick going to the Chicago Bears, and the Bears have been looking at, there's rumors of him being traded, so it's hard to see where he's going to go. That's why I'm selling him, and I was actually a huge seller on him last year too because I was trying to tell people, the fantasy numbers might be fun, but if you're not winning NFL games, you're not going to make it long in this league.
Exactly.
And that's what the people had a lot of hard times understanding. And to be honest with you, I would see him as a high-end QB2 because you take away that rushing upside he has, like he dropped significantly this year. Like last year, he was at over 1,100 yards. This year, he's barely over 600. Yes, he missed a couple games. He only played 13 compared to 15 the year prior.
Yeah.
But that rushing upside we were all looking for this year was only there for a few games. It wasn't there every game like it was the year prior.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
And I was like, yeah, and the addition of DJ Moore helped, but he still didn't throw for over 2,600 yards. So, for a type of quarterback like this, I want someone who's either going to throw 3,000, 3,500 plus yards and try to get that rushing upside. But outside of that, like I don't see him as a high-end QB2. I just see him as a headache.
Well, I think people fooled themselves last year. Last year, we did this thing where everyone made the comparison. Look at Josh Allen when he got Steph Diggs. Look at Jalen Hurts when he got A.J. Brown. So it's going to be Justin Fields is going to get DJ Moore, and he's going to be, this elite quarterback. Well, Justin Fields is nowhere as good as him, as the rest of them. His offense isn't anywhere nearly as good, and the other thing was, what if he loses his job, which is now likely to happen because it looks like the Bears are probably going to take Caleb Williams. So I don't know. I've been out on Justin Fields. I sold him 2 years ago because after his second season, I sold him when he played 7 games and everyone was high on him. So I sold at mid QB1 range prices last year. And for a while, it looked like I was going to really regret it. But right now, I am very, very glad I sold him because the 2 first-round picks I got for him turned into good players, and I don't think I could get anywhere near 2 first-round rookie picks for him now. So, what do you think? What do you think his value is?
His value is at best mid QB2 range. I mean, like you said, people were comparing him to Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. What do those 2 quarterbacks have in common? They win. What do they have in common with Justin Fields? He doesn't win. So that's how I look at him as like. We're hearing rumors of him going possibly to Pittsburgh. We hear rumors of Atlanta Falcons. I'll believe it when I see it. Until then, it's all just speculation. So he's one I'm willing to sell and try to get whatever I can get because there's someone out there who's willing to buy it because they see that rushing upside. They see the 1,100-yard season. They're like, oh, this year was a down year because the offense was in a rebuild mode and they were trying to air it out more. Okay, so you're trying to say air it out more. 300 yards is not airing it out more. That's basically one Josh Allen game.
Yeah. Well, those two teams, the Eagles and Bills, are significantly better all around than the Bears, so I hate the comparison. We'll end it here with the comparison. I'm going to take the 2 players ranked above him by Fantasy Pros and the 2 below him. Are you taking Jordan Love and Caleb Williams over him? They're the 2 ranked above him. You taking both?
Yes, absolutely. Right now I am.
Okay. How about Purdy and Tua? They're the 2 ranked below him. Are you taking both of them or either of them over Fields?
I would take 2 over Fields just because of that passing upside, and you can actually use him as a trade piece and say, he did lead the league in passing yards last year, so I think I'd rather have him over Justin Fields also. Purdy, I think, is just more of a system quarterback.
I think I'm even taking Purdy, though. I think the cutoff line for me is somewhere around Purdy or Goff. So I see me having Justin Fields ranked this year somewhere in the 15 to 18 range, not where he's at 14. But it's also going to depend on where some of these rookies go for their landing spot. So I am going to be the low man on Justin Fields, but I have been all along, so that's no surprise. All right, before we get out of here, do you want to take another chance to tell everyone where they can find you and your work?
All right, yeah, you guys can find me on X at @RyanMiner_FFB. You can find all my work over at fffaceoff.com. And if you guys want to get any rookie mock drafts, just let me know. Hit me up, DM me, anything. I'll reply back to you.
I'll have to get you to join mine. I'm running them all the time. We're always
absolutely.
Every 10 minutes I'm tweeting out a new one because I tell you, we've had 5 videos hit 1,000 views this week. All 5 of them have been mock drafts of some form. And 2 of them were IDP. I had an IDP hit 1,700 views. And I'm like, okay, I guess people are into rookies right now. So,
well, you're also the IDP master. So,
well,
you yeah, do a little humble brag on that one.
Second, I guess I finished second. My Leo's the master, I guess. But to be fair, his name is Master IDP. So I guess it's what it says. Thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Risers and Fallers on the Mad Science Lab podcast. Sorry, guys, rough day. Still dealing with an illness here. I can't talk. Brought to you by the combination of the Fantasy Football Universe and the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Thank you to my guest, Ryan Miner, for joining me, and for Aaron at FF Mad Scientist on Twitter. Thank you all for tuning in. Check back tomorrow for the next edition of Risers and Fallers. Take care, guys.